What's up, baby? This is Deontay the Bronze from Wilder. Make sure you tap into Black Authentic Truth for your latest news. It's great information, baby. Bomb Squad!
It's Tariq Nasheed right here in Los Angeles, making it do what it do, man. Y'all check out Black Authentic Truth. Get some real good games on YouTube. Black Authentic Truth, man. Check it out, man. Real good information.
Man, you know what's going on. It's your boy Geechee Gotti. I'm rocking with Black Authentic Truth. You want to learn something? Tune in, man. Get your knowledge up. Get your history up, man. Know about something, man. You know what time it is, man. Geechee Gotti, Black Authentic Truth, man. Like and subscribe.
Black man, I have an obligation to my race of people, not to no other race or no other nationality, just to black people.
And you have always hated us. We have loved you consistently for 400 years. We prayed to that white Jesus, and we saluted your flag, and we died in your militaries, and you beat us like dogs.
This is Black Authentic Truth. Hey, what's good? What's good with you? What's good with y'all, man? This is the Walker Bar for Black Authentic Truth. About to rock it out. I didn't get to go live last week, so you know I got a lot of stories lined up that I want to go into, and we're going to get it in. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna start the show off like I always do, and I just ask people how they've been doing, how's your Sunday going? You know what I mean? Out here in Southern California, it's been rainy, which it doesn't rain a lot, so the rain is needed. Of course, you know, I know y'all know about the fires and stuff that be happening because it's so dry. But yeah, you know, just a rainy day off and on. With me, I'm feeling good. I wasn't feeling too good also last week, but I'm feeling a lot better, right? So I got a lot of stories that I got lined up. Got about 6-7 stories I got lined up, and at the end, I want to do a Black Authentic quiz to test your history and see how good you are with history, like I always do. And yeah, so I'm gonna get right into it. So there was a story, and I'll get the video. There was a story that hey, what's good with you? Black Rain 303. He said it's raining. It's raining there too. I think that storm is just you know, across the West Coast, like the states, the southern states, the southwestern states. I think the last time I looked at it, was going like that direction, coming from the north, I think. Yeah, shout out to you, Black Rain, man. Yeah, so yesterday I came across the video, and this video, let me get it. This video was of a football state trooper bumping into a football player. All right, let me see. Let me drop this. Remove that. Here's the video.
That is true.
Now, I don't know it. Let me do it one more time. It happened so quickly.
That is
Like, I don't know what was going on right here, but it looks like it was on purpose. And it seems like, okay, you see 3 players right here, and it's like they're coming out of the tunnel, and this state trooper just blows through them. Then he turns around, points his finger at him. Well, I seen today that this state trooper has been relieved. The college relieved him of his duties, but this was wild. This was wild, and it made me think about the mind state of this trooper being at a game. Obviously he's there to, be at a game for security purposes. But what's going through your mind bumping into the players like that? Now let's take this let's put this in a different element. Yeah, it was on purpose, Black Rain. It was on purpose. Let's put this in a different element. I'm gonna play it again. Think about the mind state, right, of this state trooper at a game. Now I want you to put that same mind state on the side of a road getting pulled over. A black man on the side of the road getting pulled over late at night. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like he wanted to provoke something. And so this is what we're dealing with. Now, had this not been on camera, because it looks like the angle is from a very high, it has to be a camera like, those cameras that go over the stadium or something, and it's zoomed in. So if it wasn't on camera, who knows how this would have fell out, how this would have went. Obviously, this is the only camera angle. No other camera angle has come out that shows this incident. But let's just say there was no camera footage of it. It could go any kind of way. Then it'll be a different discussion then. Then it could be something like where this football player has to have a press conference to give a public apology. You know what I'm saying? It could go like that. If it would go like that if it wasn't no camera, because this state trooper could say anything. But why are you even activated like that at a game? I'm like, well, was he going for the other team? Apparently this team had just completed a touchdown. So I'm like, was he mad? Was he going for the other team? What was the point of it? Black Rain said, jealousy. He's coming out strong. Esau is coming out strong in his final push. We know that. We know that with Donald Trump and everything. Like, they are really, really pushing. And I'm going to get to another video. But it's a lot of things that are happening right now where you say, why? I know a lot of Black people are probably confused. Like, why is this push of racism? Why is it such a big thing that's going on? Everywhere I turn, every time I look around, there's something happening or someone saying something about Black people, unprovoked. Like, we're just minding our business. We're just going about our lives. And I just want to bring that out because I seen it. The first thing I thought was, oh, well, it's on camera. Luckily, it's on camera. But imagine if this was somewhere else with this state trooper. Imagine this was late night somewhere. He's doing security for a bar or something like that. He's pulling someone over. It would have went totally different. And also, if in fact there was no camera no camera footage, it could have went different anyway. Because you know how it is when it comes to athletes, especially black and brown athletes. You know, anything that is perceived to be negative, they want you to clear the air and make a public apology. And you know, even if you didn't do it for your image sake, you would have to apologize. You know what I mean? I just thought that I have, you know, would bring that out and talk about that. So we're going to get to some more stories. Of course, I titled this "A Black Woman's Pain." We'll get into that. In Money Equals Respect. I'm speaking about the Black community and how we treat one another. And then reparations and healing. And among that, I have a lot of other stories to go into. All right. So now this video, I want y'all to sit here and watch this with me. You said what team it is? You know what, Black Rain? I don't know. I know that this happened in Texas, right? So it's Texas A&M, and it looks like it's Carolina. I don't know if it's North or South Carolina. Maybe somebody else that's watching would know, but I know this happened in Texas. And so let's see what I want to do. So there's this video. This video is probably about 5 or 6 minutes long. I want you to watch this with me. It's about welfare. It's from the 1970s, and you're going to be watching people give their experiences and also vent their frustrations with the welfare system during that time. Okay, so let me cue up this video real quick. Okay, Black Rain, is Carolina. Yeah, it looks like okay. It just says Carolina, so I don't know. I'm thinking possibly it could be North or South. Let me get this video. And shout out to everybody that's rocking with me. We got some good stuff. Okay. We'll go into some history, also talk about the Barbary slave trade. That's one of those ones that people like to put out there, you know, to combat Black people talking about the transatlantic slave trade. I want to share the screen. This is going to be from YouTube. Let me get to it. Where we at?
To many Americans.
Let me make this bigger. And what I want to do, here we go.
To many Americans, the welfare rolls are saturated with lazy people who would rather sit back and take it easy while hard-working taxpayers foot the bill. To those who believe in the great American dream that every man can pull himself up by his own bootstraps, the solution to the welfare problem is primarily a matter of taking people off the welfare rolls and putting them on the payrolls. What is fact? What is myth? Who are these people on welfare? And what changes are needed in our welfare system?
I don't want welfare to support me. I want welfare to find a job for me, a job where I can work and make a living on my own.
This is the public hearing held in March of this year in Fresno, California, the richest agricultural county in the world.
Are you employed?
No, I'm not.
When were you last employed?
It was in 1958.
What brought your work to an end?
I become disabled. In 1954, I fell off a ladder working out on the ranch.
I go into debt in wintertime and work. My wife and I work in summertime to pay off those debts, and then the cycle is just over and over. Hard times come again, we go in debt again, and so on. Same thing. It's just a cycle. If I ever applied for welfare in my whole lifetime, must have been about twice or three times in my lifetime that I remember, and that was because I really had to.
In other words, it goes against your grain to take welfare?
No, I don't like that. I don't like to go before the welfare department and beg for food. No, sir, I never did like that. I've had all the chance in the world to become a #1 beggar, but we don't do that.
What makes you feel like you're begging when you go in there?
Look, lady, I don't know if you're ever back for food yet or not, but I'm going to tell you. When you go to the welfare department, these people are ready for you. In fact, they're hostile.
Why do they discriminate us by saying the Mexicans are getting welfare, the poor people is getting welfare? Why don't they turn around and say the grower is getting welfare? And he is getting it on a bigger basis. Because this son of a gun, year after year, will be getting millions of dollars out of the government because they didn't work the land or this or that. Here, Mr. So-and-so, here's so many millions. But that's called something different. That doesn't call welfare, even if that's the real word for that. But no, they rather discriminate us than the Mr. Grower.
Last year, farmers in this area were subsidized in excess of 60 million so they wouldn't plant something. They received also, God knows how much, for technological studies at the University of California, Santa Barbara, at Davis, and so on and so forth, to create machineries to put these people out of a job.
The American people voice little objection to their tax dollars being used for business subsidies, but cry out loudly against welfare grants. Could the reason be that welfare receives an imbalance of the attention and publicity? Or is there a basic resentment against the poor? Can it be that many hard-working Americans resent the fact that welfare recipients seem to be getting something for nothing?
People do have to stand in lines. We do get very busy. We do have long federal, state, and county forms to fill out, which ask every question from when you last clipped your toenails on up. This is unfortunate.
In some states, a single aged person can receive a larger grant than an unemployed mother with 3 children. And in no state is assistance given to the working poor.
We don't have anything. We work out on a farm. I have to pay income tax. I have to miss meal to pay that.
I am a human being as well as the next person. I like to be treated as a human being. I like to be talked to as a human being. And I don't know very many people that tries to get on the welfare too. That's usually the last resort. If you get the feeling that your interviewer is getting the money out of his pocket to hand you, and you know about just how you'd feel about giving me $35, $40 a month out of your own pocket, your own earnings, you'd be hesitant about it, and it seems that that's the way they seem to do it.
But under the law, you are just as much entitled, under certain circumstances, to this money as they are to their salary. There's no difference, and people should understand that.
Yeah, Your Honor, I understand you, but I don't think you understand me. We understand that, and we feel that way about it. But it seems as though to me, maybe I'm wrong, it would be better, maybe we should have a commission with them. I mean, like you people are with us, they should have a commission to explain it to them that the money don't come out of their pocket. Now, we understand you. I do. So that is the problem. But thank you so much for trying.
Yeah. So, one second. So in that, there's some things that stuck out to me. Okay. There's some things that stuck out to me. Black Rain said, it sounds like the VA. That's why I rarely go to the VA. They hostile and they're crooked. And it's a few things that stood out to me. Okay. So first of all, everybody at some point in time needs help. You see all races in that video. First of all, what stuck out to me is you had the white man who fell on hard times. He fell off a ladder and he was disabled. They was asking him when the last time he worked. You had the other guy that basically said that they were hostile. He said, when you go into that welfare office, these people are waiting for you and they are hostile. And he also spoke about getting caught in the cycle and not wanting to beg, not wanting to ask for help, you know, and have to even go into the welfare office. Also, the Mexican man, what he was saying is something that I think you can see it, you can say it today, like with the government. So he was basically saying, why is it that they talk about Mexicans getting welfare, but they don't talk about the grower getting the subsidies, getting the millions of dollars from the government, not to work the land? And he said they call this welfare when poor people get it, but why that's not called welfare? Then you had the sister that basically said at the end that when you go to the welfare office, it's almost as though you get the impression or the feeling that by the way they are acting towards you, that the money is coming out of their own pocket. And I'm sure a lot of y'all probably, you know, would know this, or you believe the same thing. A lot of things haven't changed much over time, you know, when it comes to the system of welfare. And that was a report of people just expressing their experiences and their frustration. You see the director, one of the directors said that, oh yeah, there's long lines and they ask every question to when's the last time that you cut your toenails. So I thought it was just interesting in just bringing this out so you could see that really not much has changed. And this was in 1970. Black Rain said Elon Musk is getting all kinds of subsidies and the so-called richest man. It's all a scam. Yeah. Getting all of those tax breaks and, you know, all of that help from the government. Why that's not called welfare? When they give all of this money to, you know, these farmers to keep their farm or give them money not to farm the land. Why isn't that called welfare? But when you give poor people money, it's called welfare, right? Anyway, let me get to this next video, okay? Let me pull this next clip. Where we at? It's right here.
Hi, my baby. What's up, my little boy?
You just cannot underestimate the value of the bond between two chimps. I mean, when two chimps are together, there's no need to chimp out because they're in their safe space. I endorse.
Now, this white roach, now this is a video. This is a video that she is reacting to. And this video basically is a man that is coming back, being reunited with a chimpanzee that I don't know if he must have raised it because it remembers him. And you heard the video. She's comparing him to a chimp and they're in their safe space. And, you know, it's so beautiful that, you know, the black man is with his family, basically. You know, these kind of videos, like we were just talking about that, Black Rain was speaking on, and how you see this push of racism, an extra push, especially with the era of Donald Trump. And black people, we don't go out of our way to be racist to white people like this. The obsession is real. You understand me? The obsession is definitely real, and we just mind our business. And then we have to react to stuff like this. That's what black people do. We don't, you know, go out our way and be obsessed to talk, you know, negatively, like to speak this way about white people. We react to their racism. We react to the things that they say. Like I'm reacting to this. I don't really like on Black Authentic Truth. I cover all kind of stuff, but typically I'm reacting to stuff. But I'm not going out of my way to tell you to make racially charged jokes about white people. Racial epithets and slurs. Historically, these things, we know where they come from and the heritage of America in dealing with black folks. Racist caricatures, you know, the drawings. Oh, you know, they make the black people, you know, draw them eating watermelon and draw them, like make them look like a monkey, or make postcards and all that. That has never been Black people. But these people are literally obsessed with us. They are obsessed with us, and it's almost like they won't even have any content, they won't have anything to talk about, or any or feel like they have any type of edge unless they talk about Black people. Unless now this white roach, I went to go look at her page. Let me just show y'all. And before I really show you, I just wanted to also say that someone like her would not have a platform if it wasn't millions of white people that agree with what she is saying. You really got to think about that. Like someone like that wouldn't have the platform. You need supporters. You need people to drive those numbers. You need people to go viral. You need people that agree with what you're saying. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, we just don't go out our way to do all of that, all of the extras. We mind our business, and then we react to the racism that they spew. All right. Paul said that dirty KBs has the nerve. Says the troglodytes or the cave dwellers. You can't make this stuff up. Adam was given charge over all the earth, including animals. A Black man. That's right. Let me get this. Let me just show you the page. So this is the type of people that you see every day. You know what I mean? You see them at work, you see them at school, you see them in the mall. So this is off of Facebook page. Let me see where we at. Okay. Maybe I can make it bigger. Let me see. I think I can. What we sharing at? Here. Can y'all see that? Yeah, y'all can see that. This is her page. Isabella Riley, 66,000 followers. And like I was gonna say, if it wasn't for all the makeup she got on her face, she definitely would look just like a man. But I looked into the page and I found this. Now this is 2001, but she's who will I get to see next month at SAS 2021 Turning Point USA? So she's basically talking out the side of her neck like Charlie Kirk. She's a Turning Point wannabe. Okay. I don't think she's Turning Point, but that's the cloth. That's the cloth that she's cut from. All right. But like to get back to what I was saying, we don't go out of our way to be racist like they do. We just don't do it. You know what I mean? And so shout out to Isabella Riley, the white roach that has no talent and can't think of nothing else to talk about but Black people. All right. I just had to felt like I had to go in on that. You know what I mean? It came across my feed, and it's one of those things where the same way you react to some of those talking points you hear, the turning point type people say about Black people. But this one was overtly out of line, to say the least. So I had to speak on that. I had to bring that up. Let me see where I wanted to go. Reparations. Okay. Talk about that. There's a video I got for that. Right. Let me get the video. Let me drop this. What I want to do. this too.
Nothing makes white people groan more than reparations.
Yeah.
It's something that makes people think that here come the blacks again asking for something for nothing. I want you right now. You're talking. You're very polished. You come in here. You look. He's dressed. He's got the chain. You're polished. You know your
Wish
shit.
you had me on sooner.
Make the case why reparative justice, restorative justice, why reparations is a fundamental issue in American history, American present, and American future.
You know, what makes white folks groan more than reparations?
What?
Being called racist, slavery, and grappling with this history that you know you benefited from, that you were not directly a part of, and grappling your whole life with what do I do with reconciling those truths. And many folks that manifests in trying to treat people right, and trying to be a good person and stepping up and trying to vote a certain way. Reparations is part of that conversation. You can't truly heal something until you repair the harm. Malcolm X said, if you stab me in my back and you pull the knife out 6 inches, that's not justice. You pull it out all the way, that's not justice. Healing the wound is justice. And until we have full repair and full accountability for the harm that's been done, we can never really reconcile the relationship with Black folks in this country and this country itself. And we've had that kind of repair before. And when we did Japanese internment camps in World War II, right, we rounded up Japanese Americans and Japanese folks. We put them in internment camps. Afterwards, we realized that was wrong, and we provided immediate reparations for that. And because of that, we were able to move on and reflect on that history, learn from it, not do it again, but know that we've stepped up and made amends. With slavery, we never made amends. And now it gets scary because the amends become so costly because the disadvantages associated with having been enslaved in this country have stacked on top of each other for generations. It's impacted wealth. It's impacted job ownership, home ownership. It's impacted life expectancy. It's impacted every part of Black life in this country. And that's a lot of repair that's due, which is why we can't shy away from it, especially in this moment.
What the brother said, you know, he spoke real good. And he was very articulate, you know, like the way he said what he said about reparations and the understanding of how things have gotten worse over time and the trickle down effect of you know, us not getting what was due. So reparations is a conversation that has been going on for forever. And, you know, that conversation will go on for forever when it comes to the relationship between Black people and white people in America. And the reason why I say it's going to go forever is because they will never do it. And so it will always be used as a talking point for certain people, and especially politicians when it comes time for voting and stuff, to stir up people's spirit and things of that nature and to get debate and talk and get allegiance. This brother brought out some good points, especially the one about how white people grapple with the history, the terrible, horrible, horrific history of America. And now they are the beneficiaries of that conquest, of that horror, of that mass genocide, of that murder, of that evil. And so they grapple with it in their spirit. And he said it comes out in ways where you have white people that try to help Black people and try to do what they can. You also have white people that, you know, deny the effects of slavery. And they say, well, you know, get over it. It was such a long time ago. Or they say things like, you know, the Irish, my ancestors, the Irish were slaves. We got over it. So why can't you? And I'm gonna get into that. Matter of fact, I'm doing a video right now where I'm going into Irish slavery. But these are some of the things, how they grapple with it and how they deal with it in their mind. You know what I mean? And these two brothers spoke about healing, right? Healing, Black people needing to be healed. Now, when it comes to reparations typically would be monetary. It would be money, right? There's so much damage that has been done. And like this brother said, that has stacked up over time, that money is not the end all be all. In fact, money will not repair what is broken in Black people. It will not heal. It won't do what we think it will do. You know, like I say that a lot, like, think about a person with a drug addiction and you give them $1 million. Now, this person with this drug addiction was stealing, doing things in order to get their drugs on a day-to-day basis. Now they have all this money. It's not going to make them stop doing drugs. It's what I'm saying is it's not going to fix their mind state. It's not going to change who they are. Now they'll be able to get more drugs. They'll be able to, you know, have a car and drive and get the drugs. They'll be able to wear nice clothes when they go get the drugs. You know what I mean? They'll be able to party on a large scale. And that's the point of what I'm making about money and reparations is not going to fix us. At this point, we need to heal ourselves. At this point, we need, you know, therapy. We need things that most people overlook when you hear about Black on Black crime, or you hear about situations with Black people or our behavior. That comes from not just a lack of, you know, money or resources. That's because we are destroyed. That's from generational dysfunction being passed down through the family. Reparations can't fix that. You know what I'm saying? It won't fix that. Let me see what y'all saying. Black Rain said, you know what, Black Rain, about this brother, I don't know. This is the first time I've ever seen this brother. I don't know if he's in the, you know, part of the Congress or whatnot. You also said money is not it. You said Isaiah 52:3, for thus said the Lord, you have sold yourselves for nothing, and you shall redeem without you shall be redeemed without money. Yeah, money is not going to fix us. Money is not going to fix us. Even right out of slavery, I'm talking about fresh out of slavery. If the United States government would have said, here, take this silver, take this gold, take this 40 acres and a mule, take this whole state. We already had trauma at that point. So it would take for us to see and admit, like, damn, as a group of people, we're messed up. Look at our families. Look at what we are doing. We would have to look at ourselves and face those demons. We would have to acknowledge those demons, just like a drug addict has to acknowledge, has to first, what they tell you, what's that slogan, I guess, like when you go to NA meetings, the first thing you have to do is acknowledge that you have a problem. Or Alcoholic Anonymous, the first thing you have to do is admit, like, I have a problem. So with the Black community, when it comes to repairing ourselves, it's not just about, okay, what these people did and they need to pay us for all of that hard labor. We also have to look at ourselves and say, okay, this X, Y, and Z is going on in the Black community right now today. And we know it's wrong. We know it's messed up. How are we going to fix that? How are we going to get our daughters from thinking that being OnlyFans or just exposing yourself is a good thing to do? How are we going to get our young men from thinking that selling drugs instead of just getting an honest job or even an honest hustle? How are we going to get them to focus and say, you know what? Drugs is not the answer. Selling drugs ain't the answer. There's a million ways I can make money. These are things that we can look at right now in the Black community and say, this is messed up. This is effed up. How are we going to fix this? How are we going to repair this? How do we start to heal? That's how we start to heal. We have to take accountability in the Black community. We have to look and say, this is going on and this is messed up. And it ain't just because we don't got no money. You could be a person that don't got a lot of money and still be a decent individual, a righteous person. Hell, most people that are decent, righteous, good, genuine people in the world are not people with money. They're not people that have disposable income. They're not people that are, that can just get up and do what they want to do when they want to do it, or have a big savings account. Most people that are genuine good people are people that are working day to day. They're people that don't have a lot of resources, but they're people that, handle their business every day. You know what I mean? Kapas said, right, the damage was already done. The damage has been done. So I don't want nobody to get me wrong and think that I'm saying like, no, we don't need reparations. And I don't even think that will ever happen. You're dealing with a people that are too prideful and they make excuses and they can't take accountability. Why they point the finger at the Black community and say, take accountability, do this, do that. They can't even take accountability for what they have done to Black people. And like, if it hasn't happened yet, it's never going to happen. If it was to happen, it should have happened a long time ago. It would have happened a long time ago. So you could just forget that. Just get that out of your mind. But when it comes to like real healing, and let's say hypothetically that the government decided, you know what, we're going to apologize for that, and we're going to give reparations. Let's just say they did do that. Then what? You know what I'm saying? Like everybody will have money. What we're gonna do? Spend all the money, give it right back to them? I'm not saying all Black people, but go buy Gucci and what, all the expensive stuff and give these people the money. You know how many people will be waiting? They'll already be lined up waiting. They're like that because they'll hear about it. It's always some inside stuff. They'll hear like, yeah, they're about to cut some checks for Black people. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna develop this. I'm gonna have this app. I'm gonna do this. You know what I mean? So that they come spend with me. I'm gonna start advertising. I'm gonna get in the algorithm. You know what I mean? Like people will be like wolves waiting for Black people to get that money. And a lot of Black people won't even use the money the right way. They'll continue to live the life that they've been living. It won't change them from being, an abusive husband or abusive wife. It won't change them from being, who they are. You know what I mean? That comes with self-reflection and accountability and understanding like, damn, I got a problem. Maybe I need to sit down with a therapist. I got an anger problem. That money ain't going to fix your anger problem. So anyway, I just wanted to talk about that for a bit, go into that. He was bringing out some good points, though. He was, making some good points. So I definitely agree with what he's saying. But the only thing is that I don't think we should expect to get reparations from the government. I just don't think they would do it, because they haven't done it yet. All right. So where we at? Okay, Thomas Sowell. Now, Thomas Sowell is very, he's well known. He's in his 90s. He's an American economist and let me get this real quick. Let me change it. Thomas Sowell he's an American economist and social theorist. Very, very smart man. Thomas Sowell, if you go and look at some of his interviews and some of his debates, is what I seen like I think it was like in the 60s. Really, really good. Very smart man. What is he? I think he's a conservative, right? He says some things that I don't agree with, but overall he's a smart man. He's the reason why I actually found out about the book. There's a book called The Black Family from slavery to the 1940s, I believe. I can't remember the title exactly. It's by Hubert Goodman. All right, where they did statistics from the time Black people were out of slavery and surveys and all of that, and just showed how good the family was doing back then. Well, he is the reason why Charlie Kirk would say the things he was saying and act like he actually cared about Black people, like the Black family was doing better, in the 1940s. Charlie Kirk looked at he watched a lot of Thomas Sowell, so he learned that stuff from him, which we already knew Charlie Kirk was full of whatever, but this is where he got a lot of his information from. And then to flip it and make it seem like he really cared about fixing the Black family, where he mixed that with racist talking points. But this is Thomas Sowell, and right here in this video, I'm gonna just let you know off top, I don't agree with what he's going to be insinuating, but let me play it.
Slavery has been a universal institution for thousands of years, as far back as you can trace human history. And what we're looking at is if slavery is something that happened to one race of people in one country, when in fact the spread of it was around the world. In 1776, which is when Adam Smith published The Wealth of Nations, as well as when the United States got started, he said that Western Europe is the only place in the world where there is no slavery. And even the Western Europeans had vast numbers of slaves in the Western Hemisphere, yes, but not in Western Europe itself. And so if you're going to have reparations for slavery, it's going to be the greatest transfer of wealth back and forth, and between and cross-hauling, as they say in the railroads, because the number of whites, for example, who were enslaved in North Africa by the Barbary pirates exceeded the number of Africans enslaved in the United States and in the American colonies before that, put together. But nobody is going to North Africa to ask for reparations because nobody is going to be fool enough to give it to them. Here we have intellectuals who can imagine a different history from the rest of the world.
So there's a few things he said that I didn't agree with. I don't agree with. Mainly the main point though is that he talked about the Barbary slave trade, and he said more people were enslaved than the transatlantic slave trade. That is not true. That is absolutely, fundamentally, statistically not true. With all due respect, because he is a pioneer, he is an elder, but that is not true. Okay. But as you can see, a lot of the talking points Thomas Sowell would have, a lot of conservative type of Charlie Kirk type of white folks would love him. They love him, in fact. They love him. They love to quote him. You know what I mean? He's like one of those Black people that they're like, I knew I was right. You know what I mean? He's one of them types, right? And so let me just give a little information on the Barbary slave trade. So the Barbary slave trade, let me see real quick. This slave trade was the capture of Europeans, right? And so what would happen is ships would be raided by pirates. These pirates were Ottoman Turks or Muslims, and from North Africa. The Europeans would be captured by corsairs in slave raids on ships, and by raids on coastal towns from Italy to Ireland, the coast of Spain and Portugal, as far as north as Iceland and into the eastern Mediterranean. Most of the captives were seamen and crews who were taken with their ships, but there were many fishermen and coastal villagers who were captured. The majority of these captives were people from countries around the Mediterranean, especially from Italy. People, a lot of times, they use the Barbary, because this is it's two times. It's the Barbary and it's the Irish that white people use to say, hey, look, everybody was enslaved. This is what Thomas Sowell said in the beginning of this video. He said, everybody's been enslaved. It goes back to the beginning of time. That's true. But even when we look at history, historically, historians can't really pinpoint the different types of slavery in ancient times. Like, for instance, we know like what the Romans did. When the Romans would come and destroy people, they'd, kill most of them. the people that are survivors, they'll march them back to Rome, and for different uses. One of those uses would be to put into the games, to fight as a gladiator. We know they did that after the siege of Jerusalem. Okay. But to say that all people were enslaved at some point in time, that's just a way for white people to downplay the transatlantic slave trade. So when you talk about the Barbary trade, which Thomas Sowell is talking about right now, that was about numbers, the estimated number of Europeans going into slavery into North Africa under Muslims, about 1 million. 1 million. The transatlantic slave trade is estimated to be between 10 and 12 million people that went through the transatlantic slave trade. So to his point, how I said I disagree about that, because the numbers just don't reflect that. Okay. It don't reflect that at all. And I know Thomas Sowell is up in age, and I don't know, I'm not being disrespectful, but nah, I can't let that one slide, because this is the type of stuff that they will take and run with it. You give a white supremacist an inch, he'll take a mile. And then you have people saying everybody was enslaved. Everybody at one point in time was enslaved. And the type of slavery in the Islamic world was not the same as the type of slavery that Europeans did to Black people. The type of slavery in Africa is not the same slavery that Europeans committed upon Black people, which is chattel slavery. And people don't even know the difference between slavery and servitude. The Irish went into servitude, indentured servitude was not slavery. But the word slavery gets thrown around real loosely without no real insight of what really happened. When you talk about chattel slavery, which is the only time that you see chattel slavery, is with the transatlantic slave trade. Let me say it again for the white supremacists and the ignorant people. The only time you see chattel slavery is the transatlantic slave trade. What is chattel slavery, Thawar? Chattel slavery, okay, let me give you so like Islamic slavery or African slavery, you are biblical servant, like being a servant, a man servant, a maid servant, biblically, right? You live with the family. You have just as many rights as the family members. You marry into the family, or you go about your way. That's traditional old world servitude. I don't want to say slavery, because when people hear slavery, they think about the transatlantic slave trade. Okay. I'm saying being a servant for a specific amount of time. And after you done been a servant with a family for a long time, hell, you might say, hey, what? I'll stay with the family. I'll marry your daughter. You have the same rights as the family, sometimes even more powerful. When the Europeans came to negotiate on the West Coast, they were shocked that a lot of the people who were considered slaves or servants were the people that were coming to negotiate with the Europeans, and they had power. They had prestige and charge. They were in charge. So, the way the white man looked at it is like, why is this person had this much power? Think about Django. When the white man seen, what's the name on, is this a spamming? When the white man seen Jamie Foxx on a horse, he was like, damn, who is this? When the other slaves seen Jamie Foxx on the horse, they didn't understand it, because they like, okay, why is he such in a high position? He should be down here with me. He shouldn't be having that much power. Same thing in out there in Africa. Now let me get back. So that was old world servitude. When you talk about the transatlantic slave trade and you talk about chattel slavery, it means that you are like property. You're like a horse or a dog. And it is based on you being a Black person. And when you have a child, your child is a slave too for the rest of their life. You get what I'm saying? This had never been done before in the history of the world. You can't even compare. Like, you trying to compare what happened to the Irish, the Barbary, and all of that, that they don't even belong in the same realm, in the same sentence, because they are not the same. Make no mistake. And so I just want to clarify with that is that, you know, it's no disrespect, but there's a lot of misinformation going around historically, and people use those talking points to downplay the transatlantic slave trade. All right. Thank God it's over, man. You can't be spamming the comments. I don't even know what this means. And you know what? No sweat. No sweat at all. Got to come up in here and have a conversation. Black Rain said the Barbary slave trade is where they get the name from, the Marines from the shores of Tripoli. Okay. The hymn. Okay. Wow, you learn something every day. Yeah, so let me get to this last video I got for y'all.
Your due date. Right now. Is your due date 11? What? How many times have you been pregnant? 3. This is your 3rd pregnancy? Yes. You have 2 babies
It's
at
in
home?
my ass.
You have 2 babies at home? Who's your doctor?
Lang is her doctor. Y'all treat all your patients like this or just the black ones?
Whoever was the person out of vision for you. His last name is Jones. She's G3P2. I'm not sure what her due date is.
Her due date
I
is
just
the
said it
10th.
was the 10th. Her due date is the 10th.
She got 3 pregnancies, 2 babies at home. I bet y'all listen next time. When you found out you was delivering at this hospital, your ass should have changed doctors. Everybody say how they treat people here.
This video is terrible to watch. It's terrible to hear. This sister, and it says it on the video, she delivered her baby 12 minutes later. She had been waiting for 30 minutes. From what I hear, they have released that nurse. That nurse no longer works there. Okay. And that's part of this, has to go with what I said about a woman's pain, a black woman's pain. And you hear stories like this all the time. And I just want to say, like, historically, they did a lot of experiments during slavery on black women. And doctors would do these experiments down there in our private area without the use of anesthesia, because they believed that black women didn't feel pain like white women. And when it comes to the medical field, black women are, I believe, 4 times more likely to die during pregnancy. So there's definitely something there. This is not in black women's mind. And this video right here shows you that that is just, that should be a criminal act. You know, just the lack of care, the lack of concern, the lack of compassion. And it makes you wonder, you know, do these people look at us like animals? Like when you're in a place like that, and we all can agree that a hospital is a place where you would think people would have the highest level of compassion, the highest level of concern, the highest level of of empathy. You would think in a place like that, when people are at the whim and at the mercy of someone else, you would think that these people, they're in there and they're doing that job because they really want to help people. They really want to comfort people and, heal people. You would think. And this video is just disgusting to see. It's just, and you have to like think about how many times that Black women have went in there and didn't come out because somebody did not care, you know? And there's something else I wanted to say about this. I think I said it. I think I said it. I think I said everything I wanted to say. It's just awful. You know, you just and that's what I wanted to say. It makes you think about the time where Black people were self-sufficient, and it makes you want to make sure that you get a Black doctor and you get somebody at a hospital that understands you, that knows what you're going through. Contrary to popular belief, we are not all the same. Yeah, we may all be human, but we ain't the same. And when it comes to, professionalism and being a professional, I guess a good analogy or a good comparison is law enforcement. In law enforcement, we've seen it plenty of times where the law enforcement, if they're white, they'll treat a white person with more compassion. They won't just go straight to pulling their gun out. They'll try to de-escalate a situation. It's countless videos like that. And I'm talking about with people that are other white people that are threatening the police, right? And I say that to say it's very well known that you have more compassion and you identify more with people who look like you. It's nothing wrong with it, but it is a reality. And so that's the same with the medical field. I would want somebody Black that, identifies and sees themselves in me. You know what I mean? That has a little more empathy and patience and concern. We need to come back with midwives. Black women just need to have midwives. I said, seeing that video, I said, well, hell, she might as well just have the baby at the house. What's the point in going to the hospital if you treat it like that? She might as well just prepare. Should have just had the baby at the house. I'm not saying that like that. She should like literally, but I'm saying I'm being sarcastic about the situation. Like, you got to sit there in pain, and that's the place you go to alleviate pain, and you can't get no relief. And that's why I say they act like Black women don't have pain. And this ain't the first time either. I know it ain't the first time. There's other stuff on video. Like you don't have any, you go in places like that and you at the whim of these people. You can only hope that it's somebody like you that is taking care of you, watching over you. You can only hope. And even with that, it's up in the air. You better pray that the Most High is on your side. Cause you ain't got no control. You're not in control, That's just a sad, sad situation, y'all. You know what I mean? That's pitiful. That's terrible service. Terrible. That's terrible. What was I gonna say? Like she seemed unbothered, literally. And I seen reports that they let her go good. She don't even need to be, she don't need to be in healthcare, you know. Let me see. Let me remove this. Let me remove this stuff. Yeah, she don't need to got one more thing I want to talk about. What is it? Oh, that's this. Exactly. So it says she'll get another job at another hospital. That's crazy. Yeah, it's like I don't like to think like that. I don't like to think like, okay, because you know, certain people that do certain jobs every day, they get desensitized. It don't matter what you do, whether you working at a mortuary, coroner, um, EMTs, doctors, nurses, and you know, you forget that you're dealing with people. You forget that you, in a way, you kind of like anything, like this. But we know we look at it. People's different from like if you work in a different kind of job, like you work in a warehouse or something like that, or cutting pizza or something. But you start to, you know, take the, you know, you get disconnected and disassociated and you forget that these are real people, human beings and stuff. You get desensitized, right? And that's why you've seen videos where you have hidden cameras and stuff, and doctors are doing weird stuff, saying, making jokes about a patient that is knocked out, EMTs making jokes about somebody that's deceased and stuff like that at a crime scene, or police making jokes, the police, they took pictures of Kobe Bryant, the crash of Kobe Bryant and his daughter, and was sharing the pictures in a bar. You dealing with people like that that are, you know, first responders, and you just gotta hope that if you ever in a situation you're dealing with somebody is in your situation and that is a decent person, and they not like the stuff that has come out that we know happens, you know. Let me see. Mm-mm. Keep myself up there. All right. So I wanted to talk about the Black community. And now that's what I was put in the title about money equals respect. So when you look at the Black community, right? I'm going to ask y'all, what's the greatest, well, I don't know if I gave it away, but what's the greatest compliment that you could tell the greatest compliment that people could say about a person? What is it? And I'll just wait for y'all to answer. What's the greatest compliment? All right. What's the greatest compliment that you know, people could say about another person? Let me check the comments. Shala said, "You have a nice smile." Okay. What's the greatest compliment that you could say about a person? in the black community. Like okay. A great compliment is that a person has a good reputation. I agree. But I'm getting okay. So I'm gonna get to it. But thank y'all for that. All right. In the black community, the greatest compliment or the greatest praise that someone can give a man or a woman, is he's getting money. You know what I'm saying? She's getting the bag. They got motion. They got something going on. That's like the greatest thing, like in our community. If you really think about it, when people have something to say about somebody, like, damn, they getting money. That's like one of the best compliments you can get. Okay. But on the flip side, the most disrespectful and insulting comment that somebody could have for you is, nigga, you broke. Your broke ass. You ain't got no money. That's like the most disrespectful thing that you can say to somebody, to black people, and to trigger them. You know what I mean? Like, y'all gave some good ones. Compliments that you got a good reputation. But the like, people recognize that, like, okay, if it's a big deal if you getting money, even in a community setting. I'm just saying, like, in a community, you got someone that they got a nice vehicle, anything that gives the impression that you got money, like you're getting money, like you wear nice clothes. Even when it comes to the relationships, we base that off of whether what's your monetary status, are you getting money, what you make per year, you know what I mean? So everything goes back to the money. And the question that I have is, do other groups think this way? Do other groups make like things, uh money, material things, you know a conversation? Is that how they think? Right? Is that how they think? Shall I say, yeah? Definitely. Yeah, they do think that way. They do. The material things, nice things. Yeah. But when we talk about the black community, what I think is, when it comes to, the idea of, because I think, like, okay, say for instance, I think, like, when you think about, like, let's just say, what's a disrespectful thing you could say to a white person? I would think it'd be like if you call a white person racist. And then I thought about an Asian. If it was an Asian person, right? What is the thing that they would take disrespectful, though? They would take I got this a lot. Like, you call them the wrong age, like you say, "Oh, you Korean?" They'll get upset, like, "No, I'm not Korean, like, I'm Chinese, I'm Japanese." Like, you know what I mean? They don't they'll take that as disrespect. Like, they'll check you, like, "No, I am not you know what I'm saying? Shall I say, and Kapas said Esau will always ask, "What do you do for a living?" Oh yeah. He'll always ask, "What do you do for a living?" Right? You can't drive. Yeah, and I think that when it comes to like, all right, I would look at slavery, right? And I'll say that when you take a people and you strip and rob them of everything, you rob them of their self-worth. I think naturally we as a group would, will want to cover up that pain with things. We would want to put away that ugliness of how we've been treated. And I think in a certain kind of way that stretches forth even to this day. More so with the Black people that will want to even just disassociate themselves from, what they call ghetto culture. They'll say, well, that those are ghetto Black people, and I'm a Black person. We're different. Those are niggas, and I'm a Black person. You know what I'm saying? But I was just thinking, like, about in our community how we like to hang on that and say niggas is broke. That is like a thing that separates you from everyone else. Like, nigga, you broke. I don't hang with broke niggas. You know what I mean? And what's pushed the most is, oh, you got motion. Oh, she getting a bag. You know what I mean? It's pushed a lot, and it's within us. You know what I mean? But we make this distinction and this separation that you broke. And have you ever been told you was broke? Listen, I've been told I was broke by the woman I was with. That shit cut my spirit. Cause I said, cause it's funny when somebody else is broke too, or they live a certain kind of way and look a certain kind of way, but really they broke, and then they call you broke, and it's like, but it made me mad though. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, what? Like, but that is an insult, you know what I mean, in the Black community. Like, you broke. You know what I mean? You imagine a slave saying, nigga, you broke. Like, you ain't got no no potatoes or nothing. Nigga, you broke. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, it's a psychology thing, and maybe I need to look into it more, but it is funny. It's a funny dynamic, you know what I mean? And I understand other groups do it, but it is a big emphasis put on Black people making a separation from other Black people by simply saying you ain't got no money. You ain't getting no money. You know what I mean? You broke. She said, I heard a broke person call another person broke, right? Right. Look, it's like how we done turn it's like how they done turn, Black into an insult in the Black community. Black can be an insult, like with your black ass. Like when a person is mad, they say with your black ass, like we both Black. Like, but we done turned it into an insult. Like, we both Black, you Black too. What do you mean? Like, but it done turned into like almost like within the Black community, a racist insult. With your old black ass, nigga. You know what I'm saying? And the same as you broke, like we both broke. What are you talking about? I'm broke, nigga. You're broke too. Like, come on. But I'm just talking about the psychology of it. Like, maybe I think about it some more. But it's a weird thing how we try to make a separation, and that's the one of the most insulting things you can say to a person. Like, nigga, you're broke. You don't get no money. You know what I mean? Like, even if the person got a job, but you got a little bit more than him, it's that mentality, almost like the crabs in the barrel mentality, right? So with that, let's get to this Black Authentic quiz, man. Let's get to this quiz, all right? Let me see. Let me switch it up. So I got 5 people, all right? And I'm going to mix it up. Let's see. This is the first one. Get 10 seconds. I'm gonna give y'all 20 seconds, but 10 seconds. Who is this? All right. Let me see. Oh yeah, Shalat. Dang, you was quick with that. Yes. It is Shirley Chisholm, first Black woman to be elected to the U.S. Congress. Damn, Shalat, you didn't take no time. That's what's up. All right. Next one. Who might this be? 10 seconds to answer. That's right, Kapa. That's Booker T. Washington. Yep. Okay. 10 seconds to answer. Who is this man? I know this one might be hard or might not be hard. I don't know. Yes, Kapa. Yes. I was like, they should know because I put them in here. Yes, this is Thomas Sowell, American economist and economic historian and social theorist. Okay. And I know y'all hitting them all, so I already know y'all gonna know. I think this one is actually easy, just like, but we gotta keep it level. Can't have them all hard. A lot of people wouldn't know. 10 seconds. Who is this beautiful Black woman? That's right. That is the great and legendary Cicely Tyson. That's right. And last one. Used to learn about her, this lady, and when I was in elementary. Who is this lady? I know y'all know. I remember learning about her a lot, like during Black History Month as a kid. That's right, Kapa. That is Mary McLeod Bethune. She was a philanthropist, a womanist. She has a lot of titles under her belt, and she also founded Bethune College. All right. Mary McLeod Bethune. That's right. Yeah, man, y'all did an excellent job. Y'all did an excellent job on that. That's surprisingly, you know. So with that, y'all, thank y'all for locking in, tapping in, and rocking with me. I appreciate everyone, brothers and sisters, that do tune in when I go live. It really means a lot. And I always try to work on my craft and get better. And that's what I've been doing. I've been trying to get better, and I've been trying to think of new things to do. And so I want to keep this. I want to keep doing this. Yes, Renee, that was Mary McLeod Bethune. You got it right. Yeah, you got it. You got to be quick on the draw though with Kapa and Shalat, because they was really going. I know it's a lag on this live stream. Like I think it might be like a 5 to 10 second, time from the time that I say something to the time you hear it, but they were snappy. They had the trigger fingers on. So yeah, but I appreciate brothers and sisters. Appreciate you. Let me give y'all some shout outs. Had that troll come up in here. That was funny. Just post stuff. I'm like, man, you gotta talk. You gotta engage. Don't just come up in there and spam the comments. Black Rain 303 always rocking with me. I appreciate you. Sister Kappa, I appreciate you. Shalot, I appreciate you. Renee Gaines, I appreciate you. Yeah, man. Like I said, I'll be back next week. And I think I want to keep doing this. This is kind of, it's cool, it's fun, and keep the mind sharp on Black history or whatnot. Yeah, so with that, y'all, appreciate y'all. Y'all stay safe. Enjoy your Sunday. This is Black Authentic Truth. Peace. This is Black Authentic Truth.